Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Let us do a small example of a probability experiment. An example of probability experiment will be to toss a coin. Here's a coin. Enough. I tossed a coin. Let us see if it is dirham or dalla. Okay, this is dalla now. Okay, let's toss a coin again. Let's do another trial of the probability experiment. Oh, that's dirham this time. Okay, so that means we can have two options. If you toss a coin, you can have two options. One option is dirham, or what we call tail, and the other option is dalla, or what we call head. So we have here the head, okay, and we also have tail, okay, and the head is like the dalla and the tail is like the dirham. Let us do another probability experiment. This is a die. Let's roll the die again. Alright, now what is the outcome? I got 4. Let's roll the die one more time. Let's roll the die properly. Okay, I got 6. Okay, as you can see, if you roll this die, you can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So in this case, a die has 6 outcomes. So when you roll a die like this one, you can get 1 or 2 or 3, right, or 4 or 5 or 6. Okay, so that's a probability experiment. A probability experiment is a process that has many possibilities. As you can see, I have here 6 possibilities. In the previous example, when you had a coin, then I had 2 possibilities. So each one of these possibilities is called outcome. So in the case of the coin, I had 2 outcomes. In the case of the die, I had 6 outcomes. All these outcomes together are called the sample space. All the possible outcomes are called the sample space. Okay, so this is my sample space. If I do that in a different color, then this is my sample space. And in fact, one good way to show the sample space, which is to show all possibilities, is actually to do a tree diagram. This is actually called the tree diagram. See this branching happening from the start of the probability experiment? You had this outcome, or this outcome, or this outcome, or this outcome, or this one, or this one. So this is called a tree diagram in a very simple way. This is actually a tree diagram. Tree diagram. That one. I can also use a Venn diagram to show the outcomes. So in the case of tossing a coin, I can say I have a dot for the head, I have a dot for the tail. In the case of, for tossing a coin. If you toss a coin, then you'll get these outcomes, and it's called a Venn diagram. In this case, I have 2 outcomes. In the case of a die, when you roll a die, in this case, you have, in fact, 6 outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this case, I have 6 outcomes with these, 6 dots here in the Venn diagram, which is another way to list the outcomes and show my sample space. So these are called Venn diagrams. Now in this video, what did we learn? We learned what is probability experiment. And we learned what is outcome. And we learned what is a sample space. And what does a tree diagram mean? And what is Venn diagram? Oops. what does a Venn diagram mean? So if you still have any problem with these concepts, then please go back and watch the video again from the beginning.